This is the most critical draft in the last decade for this team. Everything you think you know about who we are taking at pick 6 and the strategy behind it might be completely wrong. We have reports surfacing about medical red flags, trade-down scenarios that sound crazy, and a front office that is seemingly playing a game of chess while the rest of the league is playing checkers. If you are sitting there waiting for us to just plug and play a star receiver or a tackle, you might be in for a rude awakening because this front office is hunting for a specific kind of difference maker. Before we dive into the chaos, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest, no-nonsense NFL updates on the planet. We do not waste your time with fluff, we just give you the raw truth. Let's start with the big picture because the rumors swirling around right now are nothing short of insane. We have experts and insiders claiming the team is locked into a specific prospect, but then we get contradictory reports saying they are entirely open to moving back. It is a classic smokescreen, but the logic behind it is actually starting to make sense. First, let's address the elephant in the room, the offensive line. We have heard the names. We have heard the hype. Caden Proctor and Monroe Freeling have been tossed around as guys the team is looking at. And then, there is Francis Mauigoa. For a while, that felt like the safe, smart choice. A solid, foundational piece for the trenches. But suddenly, the narrative has shifted, and it is a massive, flashing warning light. I have to tell you, the latest intel on Francis Mauigoa is a total disaster. You might have heard he is expected to be the first lineman off the board, but there is a major detail that everyone is trying to sweep under the rug. The reports are stating clearly that he is dealing with a herniated disc in his back. Now, look, I know what you are thinking. It's asymptomatic, it's not a big deal, he's going to be fine. But let's get real. We are talking about a guy playing in the trenches. This isn't a skill position where you can hide a minor injury. This is the interior of the line. We are talking about a player who needs to have absolute, 100% core stability and strength. The reports from the front office executives are not sugarcoating it. Some teams are suggesting that if this injury flares up at all during training camp, he is looking at surgery. And if he goes under the knife, he could be sidelined for 3 months, or even worse, it could end his entire rookie season. Does that sound like a guy you take at pick 6? If you are sitting there as a general manager, are you really going to stake your job and the entire future of your offensive line on a guy with a spinal issue? It is a gamble. It is a massive, unnecessary risk. And if I am the one advocating for us to hit on this pick, I have to be honest, I am seeing red flags everywhere now. It completely changes my evaluation. I would much rather see us go in a different direction, or honestly, trade out of that spot entirely. But before I tell you exactly where I think we should go, I have to ask you, who is truly to blame if the team reaches for an injury-prone player and it blows up in our face? Is it the scouting department for ignoring the medicals, or is it the head coach for wanting a specific profile of player? Drop a name in the comments below, I want to see who you are holding accountable. So, where does that leave us? If Mauigoa is too risky, and we aren't sold on the reach for Proctor or Freeling, that brings us back to the best player available approach. We have heard the front office say it a million times, we don't draft for need, we draft the best players. They pointed to last year as proof, when they grabbed a linebacker in the second round, even though it wasn't the biggest perceived need at the time. It worked out. It was a masterclass in talent evaluation. That philosophy is why the rumors about trading down feel so real. If the top-tier, blue-chip talent that they actually grade as a superstar is gone by pick 6, they aren't going to force it. They are going to take the extra assets. They are going to stockpile picks, move back, and pick up a quality starter later. And there is real smoke to this fire. I was talking to a source recently, and the word on the street is that it would be absolutely short-sighted to assume they are just going to stick at 6 and fill the obvious holes. They are open to a total surprise. And that brings us to the wide receiver debate. This is where it gets spicy. Everyone wants us to take a receiver. They want the big name. They want the flashy play. And the name that keeps popping up is Carnell Tate. Look, I like Tate. I think he is a rock-solid, reliable prospect. He is safe. He is going to be a contributor in the league for a long time. But is he a top 6 pick? That is the question. Todd McShay and other experts have been highlighting something really interesting about this year's receiver class. The value isn't necessarily at the top of the first round. The drop-off between the guys at pick 6 and the guys you can get in the second round isn't as massive as you might think. We are seeing a trend where teams are realizing that you can find high-level production in the second round without wasting a premier, top 10 asset. But then, you have the other side of the coin, Jordan Tyson. If you have been following the draft buzz, you know Tyson is the other name everyone is obsessed with. Some teams are whispering that he is the most talented receiver in the entire class. He has the speed, he has the twitch, he has the highlight reel catches. He is the guy who does the spin moves and leaves defenders in the dust. But I watched the tape. I watched the workout clips that everyone is losing their minds over. And I have to be the guy to tell you the truth, I saw some concerns. I saw some timing issues. I saw him jumping too early on catches, leading to unnecessary drops. Is he talented? Absolutely. Is he a twitchy athlete with massive upside? No doubt. But when you are picking at 6, you want a finished product. You want a guy who is ready to step on the field and dominate. Tyson feels like a boom or bust player. He might be a superstar, or he might be a guy who struggles with the intricacies of route running at the pro level. If I am making the pick and I am not trading down, I am taking Carnell Tate. It's not the sexy pick. It's not the pick that wins the internet for a day. But it is the pick that keeps you from having a total disaster. Tate is going to give you reliable production. Tyson is a gamble. And we have heard Deion Sanders himself endorsing Tyson, saying he is different. That's cool. That is great for the hype train. But I am not drafting based on hype. I am drafting based on what I see on the field. And let's talk about the character side of things, because this matters. We saw the recent arrest news involving Zachariah Branch. I know the bond was small, it was a weird situation involving a sidewalk, it feels like a nothing burger. But it's the optics. It's the maturity. When you are looking at top-tier prospects, you are looking for guys who are locked in. You are looking for guys who don't get involved in petty disputes with law enforcement right before the biggest moment of their lives. It just raises a question about whether he takes direction well, whether he listens to authority, whether he is going to be the kind of guy who buys into the system. It's a red flag. It might not be a deal breaker, but it is definitely a talking point in every single draft room right now. Now, wait until you hear what is happening with the 2027 draft class, because this is where the genius or the madness of this front office really comes into play. The league is already scouting 2027. We are talking about pro days where teams are watching quarterbacks for a draft class that is still years away. And the rumors are that our front office is sniffing around for 2027 draft capital in any potential trade-down scenario. Think about that. They are playing the long game. They are looking at the 2027 class, seeing value, and trying to set themselves up with the ammo to go get their guy down the road. If they can trade back now, collect a massive haul of picks, and secure extra capital for 2 years from now, that is a strategy that could completely rebuild the core of this team. It is not about the next 6 months. It is about the next 6 years. So, where does that leave us for this draft? We have the potential injury risk with our top lineman prospect. We have the debate between the safe receiver and the flashy receiver. We have the possibility of trading down. We have the potential character concerns with depth targets. It is a minefield. I really want to get your temperature on this, because I think the fans are divided. If you had to bet your life on it, what is the right move at 6? Are you going for the sure thing like Carnell Tate, or do you swing for the fences with a guy like Jordan Tyson? Or are you the type who says, forget it, move back, get the offensive line, get the depth, and build a dynasty over the next 3 years? Comment draft if you want the splashy, high-impact playmaker at 6. Comment pass if you want the team to trade down, collect the picks, and be smart about the long-term future. Type that letter in the comments section right now, I want to see where the fanbase stands. Let's dive a little deeper into this whole best player available mantra. It sounds great in a press conference. Every general manager says it. We just take the best player on our board. But it is rarely that simple. If the best player on your board is a position you don't need, you have to find a way to make it work. Last year, they took a linebacker. They didn't need a linebacker in the traditional sense, but they saw a future Pro Bowler, and they took him. That is the kind of aggressive, forward-thinking drafting that wins championships. But for that to work, you have to be right. You have to be absolutely, 100% sure that the guy you are taking is the real deal. If you take a guy at 6 and he turns out to be a bust, you are setting the franchise back years. That is why I am so hesitant on the injury concerns. You can survive a miss on a low-ceiling player. You cannot survive a miss on a high draft pick who spends his entire career in the training room. And that is why the trade down makes so much sense to me. If you move back from 6 to, say, 12 or 15, you are not just getting more picks. You are mitigating risk. You are spreading your bets. Instead of one ticket in the lottery, you are buying 3. You are giving yourself multiple chances to hit. And in a draft class where the difference between a top 10 prospect and a top 20 prospect is so razor thin, that is a winning strategy. I have been watching these draft patterns for a long time. The teams that consistently succeed are the ones that don't fall in love with their own hype. They don't fall in love with the star power of a single prospect. They look at the board, they look at the values, and they maximize every single asset they have. And if our front office is truly looking at 2027 capital, it tells me they are thinking about stability. They are thinking about making sure that no matter what happens this year, they are set up to be competitive for the long haul. We also have to talk about the depth targets, like Tryon Stokes. You hear the buzz teams saying they would take him over other safeties. He is older, yes, but he has the experience, he has the production. If we miss out on the early defensive studs, guys like Stokes are the reason why you want those extra picks in the second and third rounds. You can bolster the secondary without having to reach at the top of the draft. This is going to be a wild few days. The draft is the most unpredictable time of the year. You think you know what is going to happen, and then the first team on the clock does something completely unexpected, and the whole board blows up. That is the beauty of it. That is the why we love this sport. It is the drama. It is the chaos. It is the feeling of, are we actually doing this? And trust me, when we are on the clock, every single one of us is going to be holding our breath. We are going to be staring at the screen, waiting for that name to be announced. And whether they pick a receiver, whether they pick a lineman, whether they trade the pick away, we are going to be there to break it down. But for now, keep your eyes open. Pay attention to the medical reports, not the hype videos. Pay attention to the trade rumors, not the mock drafts that were written by guys who haven't talked to a single scout. The truth is usually found in the boring stuff, the injury updates, the strategy meetings, the boring, behind-the-scenes work. That is where the team is actually built. I am telling you right now, do not get too attached to a single name. Draft day is about adaptability. It is about staying cool under pressure. It is about knowing when to strike and when to wait. And if our front office keeps their heads, if they focus on the value, if they don't reach, and if they prioritize the long-term health of this roster, we are going to be in a great position. So keep the comments coming. I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree with the concern on the injury front? Do you think the wide receiver class is being overvalued at the top? Are you team trade down or team stay put? This is a conversation for the fans, by the fans, and your voice matters in this. We are going to be covering every single development. From the medicals to the trades to the late round steals, we are on it. There is no other place you need to be. We are going to be here, breaking down the pick, analyzing the fit, and telling you exactly what it means for our Super Bowl aspirations. There is a masterclass in roster building happening right in front of us, and sometimes, the best moves are the ones that take you by surprise. It's not about doing what is popular. It's not about doing what the talking heads on TV want you to do. It's about doing what is right for the organization. And I have a feeling, when we look back at this draft in 5 years, we are going to realize it was the turning point. Whether it was the trade that set us up for a decade, or the player who became the face of the franchise, this draft is going to define our future. So, stay tuned. Keep your notifications on. The next few weeks are going to be absolutely insane, and you don't want to miss a single second of the action. We have the analysis, we have the perspective, and we have the truth. Let's get through this together, let's see what the front office does, and let's get ready to cheer on the next generation of our team. Because at the end of the day, that is what this is all about. It is about the love of the game. It is about the passion of the fan base. It is about wanting nothing more than to see our colors lifting the trophy. And that starts with the draft. It starts with the decisions made in those rooms. And I, for one, can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Keep it locked right here. We aren't going anywhere. We will be here for every twist, every turn, and every surprise. And who knows? Maybe the surprise is exactly what we need to get to that next level. Stay ready, stay hyped, and I will see you on the next update. Because this ride is just getting started, and you are going to want to be in the front seat for the whole thing.